A single Linux distro just hit 2 petabytes of downloads in 1 month, and most of it coming from Windows machines. I know some of you might be wondering that what exactly is a petabyte? Don't worry, I'll break it all down for you in this video. Something massive is happening right now, and the gaming industry is pretending it doesn't exist. Let me show you what's really going on. Remember when your buddy told you he was switching to Linux for gaming, and you looked at him like he just said he's giving up pizza for salad? Yeah, we all made that face. Well, guess what? That guy's not crazy anymore. In fact, he might have been ahead of the curve. Because right now, as we speak, something absolutely bonkers is happening in the gaming world, and most people have no idea it's even going on. Alright, so there's this thing called Bazzite. Sounds like a mineral you'd find in a geology textbook, right? But actually, it's a Linux distro built specifically for gaming, and it's currently breaking the internet in the most literal way possible. Last month, they hit 1 petabyte of downloads. Now, if you don't know what a petabyte is, let me put it this way. It's 1,000 terabytes. It's the kind of number that usually comes with phrases like Netflix's entire catalog or Google's data centers. But here's where it gets absolutely ridiculous. By early December, they doubled it. 2 petabytes in like a month and a half. I'll wait while you pick your jaw up off the floor.
2,000 years later.
Now, the Bazzite download is about 7.5 gigs. So when you do the math, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people downloading this thing, not browsing the website, not reading about it. You're literally sitting there, staring at the download bar for 7.5 gigs, and let's be real, on my internet, that's basically binge-watching a whole Netflix series. But here's the part that made me spit out my coffee. Their server logs show that most of this traffic is coming from Windows PCs. Windows users downloading Linux for gaming. I had to read that 3 times to make sure I wasn't having a stroke. This is like finding out that McDonald's customers are secretly meal prepping kale salads at home. It just doesn't compute. So obviously the next question is, what's so special about Bazzite that people are abandoning the comfort of Windows? Well, buckle up, because this is where it gets good. First off, Bazzite said, you know what? We're not going to be everything to everyone. We're just going to be really good at one thing, gaming. And honestly, I wish more things in life had that attitude. Like, just imagine if pizza places stopped trying to sell you salad, just be great at pizza, you know? Anyway, Bazzite uses something called an immutable system. Now, before your A's glaze over, let me explain what that actually means in human terms. You cannot break it. Like, you know how on Windows you can delete the wrong file and suddenly your computer thinks it's a potato? Can't happen here. The system files are basically locked down. You can mess around all you want, install whatever games, tweak your settings, but the core system, untouchable. This is huge for people coming from Windows who just want their games to work without becoming accidental Linux sysadmins. And this is the beautiful part, that everything you need is already there. Steam, installed. Proton compatibility layer so you can run Windows games, already configured. GPU drivers, done. Controller support, yep. You literally install this thing, log into Steam, and start gaming. No forums, no terminal commands. Just open the command line and type sudo apt-get, none of that. Oh, and remember how I said they're handling 2 petabytes of direct downloads? Yeah, they're not even using torrents to distribute this. Other distros are out here begging users to torrent because they can't afford the bandwidth. Bazzite is just tanking it, like it's nothing. Okay, so while all this madness is happening, there's been another development that sounds way scarier than it actually is. The Linux kernel developers announced the end of the Rust experiment. Now, if you're not a programmer, you probably read that and thought, oh no, they tried something and it failed. And I get it. That's what I thought too at first. It sounds like one of those headlines like, restaurant's free pizza experiment ends, and you're like, oh man, no more free pizza. But hold up. This is the opposite. The experiment worked. In fact, that Rust is now officially not experimental anymore. It's graduated. It's a full member of the kernel club. Drivers written in Rust will now be accepted just like drivers written in C, which is what the kernel has been using since, like, the dinosaur era of computing. Why should you care? Because Rust makes it easier to write code that doesn't crash, doesn't have weird security holes, and doesn't randomly decide to ruin your Tuesday. Think of it like C is like driving a manual transmission car with no airbags from the 1970s. Sure, you can drive it safely, but it requires constant attention, and one mistake could be bad. Rust is like driving a modern car with lane assist, automatic braking, and 17 airbags. It's just safer by design. Right now, there are only a few Rust drivers in the kernel, but with this announcement, we're about to see an explosion. Better GPU drivers, better hardware support, faster updates. And before someone in the comments says, but Rust is taking over everything. Dude, Windows, macOS, and Android are already using Rust. Linux is actually late to the party. We're just now showing up with gas station flowers going, hey, sorry we're late. Traffic was crazy. Now look, I'd be lying if I said everything was sunshine and rainbows. There's one little thing that's got some people side-eyeing this whole Rust situation. A lot of Rust code gets released under MIT or Apache licenses instead of GPL. The Rust Foundation even recommends this for maximum compatibility. which is corporate speak for everyone do the same thing. Here's why that matters, and I promise I'll make this painless. GPL licenses are like that friend who shares their notes but says, if you copy these, you gotta share yours too. It keeps everything open. MIT and Apache licenses are like, yeah, take my notes, do whatever, I don't care. Which sounds nice, but it means a company can take that open source code, add their own secret sauce, and then sell you a closed source version. You've seen this before with NVIDIA drivers. They work until they don't. And then you're just sitting there like, please NVIDIA, fix this, because you literally can't fix it yourself. It's closed. Now, I'm not saying we're headed for some dystopian future where Linux becomes closed source. A lot of kernel developers are still using GPL for their Rust code, but it's something to keep an eye on. Before I let you go, there's this new tool I gotta tell you about called iDescriptor. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who's using an iPhone with Linux? That's like wearing a tuxedo to a beach volleyball game. Fair point. It's definitely a niche thing, but stick with me. This tool basically lets you manage your iPhone from Linux. File transfers, AirPlay, all that stuff Apple usually keeps locked in their walled garden. And it works on Windows too, which is wild. Why am I mentioning this? Because it's part of something bigger. The walls around these tech ecosystems, Apple, Microsoft, Google, they're starting to crack. Little tools like this are basically saying, you know what? You bought that hardware. You should be able to use it however you want. So here's where we're at, and I want you to really hear this. Linux gaming isn't some maybe in the future thing anymore. It's happening right now. Hundreds of thousands of Windows users are jumping ship, and distros like Bazzite are making it so easy that even your grandma could probably do it. Okay, maybe not my grandma, but like a tech-savvy grandma. The Linux kernel is evolving with modern tools like Rust, which means better performance, fewer crashes, and more reliable systems. The gaming world is changing, and if you're still thinking Linux is just for hackers in hoodies typing in dark rooms, my friend, you're missing out on something big. If this video made your day, hit that like button. Drop a comment and tell me, have you tried Linux for gaming? Are you thinking about it? Or are you going to stick with Windows and pretend you didn't just hear all this?